Right now on Morning News Now, stepping in, the Supreme Court has temporarily blocked a lower court order that required the Trump administration to release foreign aid funding. This comes as President Trump holds his first cabinet meeting, with Elon Musk taking center stage, speaking about his efforts to downsize the federal government.
If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here, and taking a lot of flack.
More from Washington ahead as the White House directs federal agencies to prepare for more mass layoffs. President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are set to meet at the White House tomorrow to sign a deal on critical rare earth minerals in exchange for security guarantees. The agreement appears to involve concessions on both sides. We will break it down. Breaking this morning, two-time Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman has died at the age of 95. The screen legend was found dead alongside his wife in their New Mexico home. Now, officials say foul play is not believed to be a factor in their deaths, but we'll tell you what we know. And finding your religion, a new survey is taking a closer look at faith and religion in the U.S. We will break down the results and look at some of the trends. Conversation we've had for the last couple of years. It's always super interesting.
Always fascinating to see how things are changing or not changing. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Thanks for starting your Thursday with us. We begin our show in Washington, where late last night, the Supreme Court temporarily blocked a lower court order that would require the Trump administration to release billions of dollars in foreign aid by midnight Wednesday. It comes as the Trump administration said yesterday that it is eliminating more than 90% of the U.S. Agency for International Development's foreign aid contracts and $60 billion in overall U.S. assistance around the world.
Chief Justice John Roberts paused a Washington-based federal judge's order. That order would require the Trump administration to pay foreign aid funds to contractors and grant recipients. Now, that ruling followed the president's first cabinet meeting of his second term. Also in attendance was Elon Musk, who, while not a cabinet member, spoke for nearly 10 minutes straight during the meeting. The president praised Musk's efforts in slashing the federal workforce and said more work was needed to be done to shrink the government.
We're cutting down government. We're cutting down the size of government. We have to. We're bloated. We're sloppy. We have a lot of people that aren't doing their job. We have a lot of people that don't exist.
NBC News White House correspondent Aaron Gilchrist joins us now. Aaron, good morning. So let's start with that cabinet meeting. What were some of the key takeaways there? And what did we actually hear from Elon Musk himself?
Well, Joe and Savannah, it was a lengthy cabinet meeting. Typically, these things we only get to see maybe 5 minutes of. And yesterday we heard the president talking, answering questions, effectively holding a news conference for more than an hour, surrounded by his cabinet secretaries. And as you noted, Elon Musk. The conversation was wide ranging on topics from the southern border to the Russia-Ukraine war, to a gold card, an immigration visa card that the president talked about wanting to put in place to bring business people into the United States from other countries. But as you noted, Elon Musk really was a center of attention during this meeting. He spoke for several minutes about the work that he and his Doge team have been doing over the last month or so that this administration has been in place. He said that he does believe that he'll be able to find $1 trillion in savings through the cuts that he's been making to jobs and to spending in federal agencies. He said that his team is really a support function for the secretaries who ultimately are responsible for making sure that they're downsizing their agencies. He also talked about that email that went out last weekend asking people to send in those 5 bullet points of the work they had done in the week before. And he said that ultimately that was a pulse check. It wasn't necessarily something that was going to result in terminations, but just to see if people were actually responding to requests for information. I want you to hear a little bit of what Elon Musk said during his comments in that cabinet meeting yesterday.
The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. If we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. Also, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse?
President Trump also said that DOJ has cut billions of dollars in the work that it's been doing so far. He said that the effort to find waste, fraud, and abuse is bearing fruit, although he did also say that some fraud we're not going to be able to prove. That was part of the comments the president made yesterday. Elon Musk saying that he wants to make sure that the government keeps jobs that are essential and keeps people who are performing well at only those essential jobs, Joe and Savannah.
And Aaron, right alongside that news, though, we do understand there's been this new memo from the White House directing federal agencies to prepare for even more large-scale layoffs. What do we know about those?
So President Trump early on did sign an executive order telling the agencies to prepare for these mass layoffs, as we've been calling them. And this memo really was an outline of specifics that the agencies need to execute in order to meet that expectation. I think the line was that they needed to make a maximum elimination of functions that are not required by law. That is the expectation. So that means cutting manpower significantly, and it also means cutting other expenditures that these agencies have been making over the years. This memo really going into great detail about making sure that they were eliminating repetition in different agencies, eliminating unnecessary layers of supervision in some cases, meaning not just getting rid of people who are sort of doing the day-to-day customer service stuff, but also if there are different layers of management, consolidating some of those layers so that there are fewer people needed to carry out these functions. It talked about automating systems, and it required the agencies to submit their phase one plans to effectuate this massive reduction in staffing by the 13th of March, and a phase two plan for what to do going forward, how to make sure that they are operating efficiently by mid-April to be ready to be executed by the end of September. And guys, that could also include shutting down entire offices or subcomponents of different agencies. In some cases, also maybe moving some of those agencies out of Washington, D.C., if they can find real estate that is cheaper.
Aaron, very quickly, let's walk through the Supreme Court's actions yesterday. A little background: a federal judge had ordered the Trump administration to release billions of dollars in federal aid funding. SCOTUS pressed pause. What happens next?
So the agencies, the aid organizations that had been receiving that funding went to the court and said that the government has not been in compliance with previous orders to unfreeze that money, to release some $2 billion in aid for organizations that are operating around the world. So the judge gave them a deadline of midnight last night, the government, to release that money. The government came back and said it can't do it that quickly. It's not like flipping a switch, that they're working as hard as they can to review some of these contracts and these disbursements. The judge really didn't seem to believe that. And so this was an appeal that the government made to the Supreme Court. Chief Justice John Roberts writing the order that demand that midnight deadline be paused, and gave both sides, the government and the aid organizations, until noon today to submit additional information. And then we'll see, Joe and Savannah, what the Supreme Court does after this. This is really the first time that one of these many court challenges the administration has seen over the last month has made it to the Supreme Court level and actually had some action taken, in this case, by the Chief Justice.
Aaron, thank you so much.
Well, President Trump is expected to meet with the British Prime Minister later today, with ending the Russia-Ukraine war at the top of their agenda.
The meeting comes amid a deepening split between the U.S. and Europe over the issue and how a peace deal should be handled. Speaking ahead of the talks, British leader said that the U.S. must provide security guarantees to Ukraine to deter Russia from invading again.
NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobaya joins us from London. Kelly, good morning. So how do we think President Trump will respond to this call for more security assurances for Ukraine? What can we expect?
Well, the British Prime Minister actually spoke to reporters on his flight to the U.S. yesterday, and he went into a little more detail on what that security guarantee would be. He said he wants the president to agree to a backstop guarantee. In other words, Europe would take the lead on securing a peace deal with troops on the ground. The British leader has already said that British troops would be part of that. They would defend Ukraine and deter Russia. But he said they would need U.S. air and logistical backup and would look to the U.S. for that. Now, President Trump had this to say about any potential U.S. involvement in securing peace in Ukraine. Take a listen.
I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that because it's we're talking about Europe as their next door neighbor. But we're going to make sure everything goes well.
So does that include this detail, this backstop idea? We don't really know at this point. The president did add that the presence of American workers on Ukrainian soil, if this minerals deal goes forward, would provide automatic security. Guys, the British Prime Minister is expected at the White House shortly after noon Eastern today, with a news conference to follow around 2 p.m. Savannah, Joe.
Kelly, let's talk more about the minerals deal. The president said yesterday Ukraine's President Zelensky is going to visit the White House tomorrow to sign off on that deal. What do we know about this agreement and this visit, given the recent tensions we've seen between both leaders? Is this a done deal?
Well, so we haven't had any details made public yet, but some of this has sort of crept out in different forms. Ukraine's prime minister told Ukrainian TV there would be an investment fund for Ukraine's reconstruction, that Kyiv and Washington would manage it on equal terms, and Ukraine would contribute half of future proceeds from state-owned mineral, oil, and gas resources toward that fund for projects inside Ukraine. Now, the New York Times has cited a draft document and is reporting that the U.S. would own the maximum amount of the fund allowed under U.S. law, but we don't know what that is, and not necessarily all of it. On top of all of this, President Zelensky has said it's too early to talk about money and that Ukraine needs security guarantees from the U.S. That isn't part of this deal yet. So we'll see how that plays out once the two leaders meet. Savannah, Joe.
Kelly, all this comes as relations between Washington and Moscow continue to thaw. U.S. and Russian diplomats are actually meeting again today following that initial gathering that we saw in Saudi Arabia last week. This time it's in Istanbul, Turkey. What are the focus of these talks?
Yeah, and this apparently is a working group meeting. The State Department says Ukraine is not on the agenda, that the meeting is about restoring diplomatic missions. Russia has echoed that message. Both sides have expelled staff and limited adding new staff at their respective missions over the past decade. A State Department spokesman said that the constructiveness of the talks will become apparent very quickly. His words. He said that either issues will get resolved or they won't, and we'll know soon if Russia is really willing to engage in good faith. And it's worth keeping in mind that Russian President Vladimir Putin said earlier this week that, well, he seemed to put the brakes a little bit on a quick ceasefire deal in Ukraine, saying that nothing could be achieved without restoring trust between Russia and Ukraine. This series of meetings, according or what the Russians say they hope will be a series of meetings, is supposed to move forward, make progress on that front, guys.
All right, Kelly, thank you.
Now to the budget battle on Capitol Hill. Republican leaders are facing a showdown over key pieces of President Trump's agenda and how to pay for it. House Republicans did score a win Tuesday when they adopted a fiscal framework laying out plans to enact Mr. Trump's priorities in one single bill. They now have to try to compromise with their Senate counterparts who have their own version of a budget blueprint.
All this is teeing up a big fight over things like extending Trump's 2017 tax cuts. Now, some lawmakers are already drawing lines in the sand over the potential impact on the deficit and certain policies they would like to see in a final bill. But still, House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared hopeful after meeting with President Trump and Senate Leader John Thune yesterday.
Very productive. Everybody is energized and excited about where we are. We know we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we're very optimistic we're going to get this mission accomplished.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin joins us now with more. So, Julie, if Republicans in both chambers can manage to unify behind one massive bill, then they could pretty much cut Democrats out of the situation totally through the process we talk about known as reconciliation. They wouldn't have to worry about a Senate filibuster, about getting 60 votes. So what are some of the biggest Trump agenda policies they still need to compromise on?
Well, the two bills are extremely different. Good morning, Savannah and Joe. And the biggest item really are those tax cuts, because the House version extends them. Senate leaders want to make it permanent. And that, of course, would contribute even further to the deficit and maybe be tied up in some procedural hurdles down the line. You see what's in the House framework on your screen. This is something senators were pouring cold water on all day yesterday. I talked to Leader Thune when he came back from the White House. He seemed far less upbeat than you saw Speaker Johnson there. And I think that's because President Trump endorsed the House plan, that one big, beautiful bill doing everything, taxes, funding President Trump's agenda on the border, including those mass deportations, energy, the military, all of that is in the House version. Senators want to do it in two different tranches, in part because it'll make it easier in terms of the deficit. And also it unlocks funding for immigration and those deportations right now, whereas this process will take several months. By the way, guys, when I asked Leader Thune about how aggressive they're going to be moving on these budget resolutions. He said, don't forget the government funding deadline, which is in 15 days from now. They have to deal with that first. They need bipartisan compromise before they can even continue turning back to the Republican-only funding bill.
Julie, what are some of the top concerns for Republican lawmakers, specifically in purple states, and those who might be more politically moderate when it comes to this fight?
Yeah, moderates are definitely concerned about impacts to entitlements, Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP food stamp benefits. And it's not just those moderates that are worried about it. It's actually conservatives, too. The thing is, though, conservatives want more cut from the deficit. So does Elon Musk. So does Trump. You can't really get there unless you start creeping into those entitlements. If you got a community or constituents that really rely on any of those benefits, you're certainly hearing an earful. And you have those from Senator Josh Hawley, for example, of Missouri, hardly a moderate, to the New York lawmakers like Mike Lawler, for example, who I talked to extensively this week, who just won't go for those kinds of cuts. The thing is, though, Elon Musk and Trump promised at least $2 trillion in cuts. Again, it'll be really hard to get there unless you do start slashing from these necessary buckets. Speaker Johnson, for his part, said they're not going to touch that. He thinks they're going to find it just in the fraud, maybe the workers who provide those benefits that they can cut around. I don't think that's anywhere close to $2 trillion, though.
All right, Julie, we'll see what the math does. All right, thanks so much.
Well, on Wednesday, the Supreme Court heard arguments in a case that could change the standard for workplace discrimination lawsuits. An Ohio woman alleges she was discriminated against at her job because she is straight.
Marlene Ames brought a claim against the Ohio Department of Youth Services after she says a lesbian woman was unfairly given the job opening that they were both seeking based on her sexuality. Ames also says she was then demoted and her job was given to a gay man. But the agency says she was demoted because new leadership wanted to restructure its operations, and Ames was seen as, quote, difficult to work with.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos is here with more on this. Danny, good morning. So based on the hearing yesterday, the Supreme Court seems like potentially it's likely here that they're going to allow her to pursue this claim at the state level. What's important to understand here?
So you have a case here where it's called reverse discrimination because the plaintiff is alleging that she's a member of a majority group, and instead of the traditional discrimination case where discrimination is against a minority, she's claiming that as a majority member, her position was given to a gay person, and then the job that she wanted was given to a gay person. And the courts, at least some circuits, not the entire country, some circuit courts require an additional showing for majority plaintiffs. They have to show background circumstances. For example, either that the person who made the decision was a member of that minority group, in this case gay, or there's a pattern of discrimination. And she really didn't show either of those things. So the issue really is, do majority plaintiffs have to show the same thing as minority plaintiffs when it comes to discrimination, or do majority plaintiffs have an additional heightened burden to show that there was discrimination, intentional discrimination against the majority? And in the court's words, this is a very rare circumstance, and so that's why they have to make that additional showing.
So the lower court argued they needed to be this sort of higher bar, but yesterday during the Supreme Court hearing, it seemed like justices maybe disagreed with that. What did we hear yesterday?
Yes, exactly right. It seemed like the justices, and you never really can rely on this because the idea of appellate court judges, what they do is they play devil's advocate. They often ask these probing questions that may seem to give you an insight into where they're leaning, but often they're just playing Socrates. They're using the Socratic method to challenge the litigants. But I would agree that the court appeared to lean towards the plaintiff in this case. But again, you really never know until the opinion comes out.
Danny, if the Supreme Court did rule narrowly in her favor, what could happen? What are the implications?
The implications, I want to stress here that the implications, there are no implications for minority plaintiffs in discrimination cases. In fact, this issue is not even before the court. Their standard, their burden in bringing a discrimination case will remain exactly the same. The limited issue before the court is whether a majority plaintiff, somebody in the majority, has to make that additional showing to get into court, or under Title VII, the anti-discrimination law, do they need to make only the exact same showing as any other minority plaintiffs? In other words, is the burden for all plaintiffs in discrimination cases, no matter what group they identify with, the same?
All right. Danny Ceballos, thank you very much. Well, now to some sad news on one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. He was 95 years old. The cause of death has not been confirmed, but according to the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office, it is not believed to be foul play. Police also say they found Hackman's dog deceased during a wellness check at their home on Wednesday afternoon. An investigation is ongoing. NBC News Now anchor Gotti Schwartz has more on Hackman's life and legacy.
If the car chase scene in The French Connection set the gold standard for all Hollywood chases to follow, then its star, Gene Hackman, has come to define what a true actor is. With the uncanny ability to vanish into any role, Hackman drew from within to put nuance into all the tough guy roles he portrayed.
All right, Popeye's here.
Is that gun just for show?
A child of a broken home who lied about his age so he could join the Marines, Hackman worked many odd jobs, all to finance auditions.
Every day was like a new challenge. It was going out and trying to get that job and doing those auditions, and I loved it.
Kicked out of the Pasadena Playhouse, it wasn't until Hackman was 36, playing the simple-minded Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde, when Hollywood took notice. Soon after, his tough-as-nails good cop, Popeye Doyle, in The French Connection earned him his first Oscar.
The prestige involved with an Oscar means that you have been in a couple of films that have made some money and that they can take a chance on you.
And Hollywood kept taking chances. Hackman won his second Oscar for playing a bad cop in 1992's Unforgiven. But he felt the tough guy roles never really pushed him.
We're cast so close to type in films that you can only do so much within your own persona.
I hope you're hungry. I could eat a horse. Radish.
Towards the end of his career, Hackman found he preferred comedy for the challenge.
Comedy's harder because, you know, it isn't arbitrary. If they don't laugh, it doesn't work.
The problem is?
Always shrugging off the label of movie star, Hackman remained an actor in his own words.
I guess movie star is Robert Redford and Paul Newman and kind of guys that I idolized or visualized when I was a real young guy.
Moving to Santa Fe after retiring, Hackman continued to work as a novelist, publishing his 5th book in 2013, always letting his actions speak for him on the written page and the silver screen. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
What a great look back. Our thanks to Gotti for that. Well, let's get a check on your morning news now. Weather, that sweet taste of spring might be coming to an end pretty soon for the Northeast, which honestly we were expecting. It's way too early. It's February. Angie Lassman has more. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Whoa, Savannah. We got a couple of days until then. We still are going to have temperatures in the 50s. Yes, good morning to you. But the chillier air is on the way. And we've got some rain and a bit of snow for folks across the Northeast, too. And that includes the Great Lakes as well. This is all part of a clipper system. So folks in Pittsburgh, stretching to the south and west, dealing with some of that rain. And even along the I-95 corridor this morning, we're going to be dealing with that. Notice the snow showers that stick around on the backside of this, but that system kicks out, and we've got our next clipper system that's going to race across parts of the Great Lakes. This will leave us again with the chance for some light snow accumulations for the most part. A couple of spots could see some localized higher amounts, but also a little bit of rain as we get through the day tomorrow. Notice by the time Saturday rolls around, if you have outdoor plans across the Northeast, we'll see some of that snow focused across the Adirondacks, the White Mountains. Great for folks that are going to try and get out a couple more of these weekends of winter sports. We'll see those chilly winds stay in place too for the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. So the snow showers will be wrapped up, but it'll remain cold and temperatures will be falling through the weekend. Here's a look at those snowfall totals between now and Saturday, where you see the brighter pinks, the brighter purples. That's up to a foot of snow. So again, downwind of the lakes, maybe the higher elevations of the mountains could see some substantial snowfall along with the upper peninsula of Michigan, but otherwise maybe an inch or two for folks across this region. The bigger story is the big picture look at our really warm temperatures. It's extensive where we're dealing with those higher than average values when it comes to our afternoon highs today. We've got 80s for Phoenix. We've got upper 60s for Wichita, mid 70s across much of Texas. Even Des Moines today, you're running 21 degrees above normal for this afternoon. Your high is going to be 60 degrees. It doesn't end tomorrow for the most part. We start to inch in some of this chillier air. You can see Green Bay and then Lexington, St. Louis all sitting below normal, but remaining staying mainly closer to average for this time of year, but we keep the warmth across the southeast and across parts of the Rockies. 64 degrees tomorrow for Denver, mid-70s still in Dallas. If you're looking at the northeast, we're going to hang on to those 60s for Washington, D.C. Now, looking ahead to early next week, specifically late weekend into early next week, we see a big temperature fall across the northeast. Notice the 30s that are in place Sunday and Monday in Boston. That doesn't last long. We'll get back to the mid-40s by Tuesday. You can see Columbus, similar story there. We go from the 30s on Sunday to the 50s on Tuesday. 46 degrees in St. Louis on Sunday, and we head back to the mid-60s on Tuesday. Even parts of the South that are seeing those 70s right now, you're going to drop down to the 50s. Check out Little Rock on Sunday, 57 degrees. We get the mid-60s as we kick off our next work week, and then we're back to the 70s by Tuesday. So moral of the story is we're on this roller coaster ride of temperatures. This, of course, means that we've got snow melting, and quite quickly. Last month, we had about nearly 35% of the country covered with snow. Now it's down to 19%. So you can see that we are transitioning into spring, and it sure is going to feel like it over the next couple of days, Savannah. One thing to note, we do have a wind advisory out in Southern California. We've got those gusty Santa Ana winds today, and the humidity values are down to about 5 to 15%. So heads up there. We'll see the gusts anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per hour. We, of course, could use a little rain in this area, but those Santa Ana winds are going to warm our temperatures up. So it's not just the eastern half of the country, too. The Southwest, specifically Southern California, seeing 87 degrees in Los Angeles today. You can see high 80s in Escondido. We've got Palm Springs in the mid-80s, so warm and windy for our friends there.
Oh, my goodness. Is that also fire concern?
Yes. So we do have that winter. We'll watch for that with the low humidity and those elevated winds and warm temperatures.
All right. Thanks, Angie. A lot going on. Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, health officials confirm the first measles-related death in a decade. This is following that outbreak in West Texas. We'll get you the latest on the growing number of cases. But up next, a somber return home for the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages handed over by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. We'll head to Tel Aviv for an update. We are back with the latest on the tenuous ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Earlier today, the bodies of 4 dead Israeli hostages were returned by Hamas in exchange for Israel's release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Friends and family gathered to greet a Red Cross convoy of dozens of prisoners in the West Bank, while hundreds of others were set free in the Gazan city of Khan Yunis. Some men were seen kneeling to kiss the ground in gratitude as they emerged from the bus. This comes after Israel delayed the prisoner release for days in protest of what it called the humiliating treatment of hostages during handovers by Hamas. This delay threatened to collapse this first phase of the deal, which is set to expire this weekend. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us from Tel Aviv with the latest on this. Matt, good morning. First, tell us about today's exchange.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw overnight was a dramatic final move in what was a 6-week-long first phase of this, as you mentioned, this tenuous truce between Hamas and Israel. Now, this wasn't always supposed to be a done deal. Just about a week ago, we heard from the Israelis saying they were going to not release those more than 600 Palestinian prisoners because, as they said, they were angry that Hamas was continually releasing their own hostages in what they said were humiliating ceremonies within the Gaza Strip, in which these hostages were paraded onto sound stages, set to music, with anti-Israel slogans emblazed on the stage in front of cheering crowds. This was something that really offended the Israeli government and the Israeli public. So you'll notice last night this was done under cover of darkness. There was almost no fanfare. Except especially in the Gaza Strip when it came to those 4 dead hostages who were released. But the fact is here, Savannah, is that we don't know what is going to be happening next. This was just the ending of the first phase of this treaty. The second phase, we haven't even really heard much about negotiations starting.
Yeah, Matt, so that's exactly what I want to ask you about. What are we looking for on phase 2 of negotiations? Where are we at with hostages? What could both sides be looking for? What do we know?
Yeah, well, this phase 2, we've actually just heard from Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, saying that he's going to be sending a delegation to Cairo in order to, quote, see if there's any common ground to start the negotiations. This was supposed to start weeks ago. And now it's looking like it's going to go right up to the wire. March 1st, Saturday, that's the final date of the first 6 weeks of the first phase, the 6 weeks of that first phase. Now, the second phase was already supposed to have been negotiated. It's supposed to see a more permanent peace, a more permanent treaty in the Gaza Strip and potentially the full withdrawal of Israeli troops from the Gaza Strip. Now, so far, because that hasn't been negotiated, it's possible that both sides could return to full-on war within a matter of days. But it's unclear exactly where we go from here, considering it does look as though while both sides are preparing for the worst, neither really wants to see a return to war.
Matt, before you go, I do want to get your take on this kind of bizarre AI-generated video that President Trump reposted on Truth Social yesterday. It shows this kind of over-the-top rendering of a potential future Gaza. Tell us about this clip and how Gazans are reacting to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that has been kicking around in pro-Israel social media circles. Trump simply, it looks as though he just reposted it. This is almost a dreamlike vision of what Gaza could look like once Trump, quote-unquote, owns it and turns it into a Riviera on the Mediterranean. For a lot of Gazans, this is a nightmare. It looks as though there are no Gazan people involved. There's no connection to Gazan culture. Gaza is a very, very conservative place. You're not going to see Donald Trump dancing with half-naked women, lounging half-naked by the pool with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, huge gold statues of Donald Trump looking out over the Gaza Strip. You know, this is all so outlandish, and a lot of people there, we spoke with some of them, they found it offensive. Here's what they told us.
This video is ridiculous.
This thing won't be happening, never, ever. This is our land, our memories, our family, our friends, our schools. This is our life.
Now, in many ways, these reactions to this video were rather kind, considering that when Trump first floated this idea a couple of weeks ago, the reactions from the Arab and Muslim world were scathing. They said that this plan, which would see the removal of the Palestinian people from the Gaza Strip, amounted to ethnic cleansing, a war crime. Savannah?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Well, now let's get to more international headlines. Diplomats from multiple nations walked out during Russia's address to the UN Human Rights Council to show their support of Ukraine. Matt Bodner joins us now with that and more. Hey, Matt, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. The Western split over Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues to play out in the United Nations this week, with dozens of dignitaries walking out of the Russian delegates' speech before the UN Human Rights Council. That was in Geneva yesterday. This included delegates from France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The French ambassador went so far as to say that, quote, if we let slide what happened with Ukraine, we would open the door to a disintegration of the fundamental principles on which the United Nations was founded. The U.S. seat on the UN Human Rights Council, for the record, has been left empty after Trump decided to withdraw from the body. Moving along now to North Korea, which has opened its borders to international travelers for the first time in 5 years. I do have to note that there has been one single exception to this, and that was a group of Russian tourists who went to the Hermit Kingdom last year. This latest visit was organized by the Beijing-based Koryo Tours, which has facilitated these types of visits in the past. It is believed that North Korea is testing the waters for a full resumption of international tourism as a means to bring in foreign currency, which they badly need. We'll wrap up this hour in the world-famous ruins of Pompeii. Archaeologists have uncovered rare, almost life-sized frescoes, offering a new insight into religious practices in the area when Mount Vesuvius erupted back in 79 AD, of course burying the city. The discovery features work spanning 3 walls of a banquet hall portraying the initiation rites for the followers of Dionysus. This was the Greek god of wine, fertility, theater, and religious ecstasy. The rituals were known as the Mysteries of Dionysus, and the fresco was probably made between 40 and 30 BC. Savannah?
Wow, that is awesome. I absolutely love Pompeii. I did a course in college and became weirdly obsessed. So thanks for that update, Matt. Great to have it. Coming up, a child in Texas has been confirmed to be the first measles-related death in a decade. Up next, we're going to ask a doctor what people need to know as cases of the disease grow. You're watching Morning News Now. We are back with the latest on the measles outbreak in Texas, which has now turned deadly. Health officials confirmed that an unvaccinated child in West Texas has died from the highly contagious disease, marking the first measles-related death in the U.S. in a decade. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson reports from the heart of the outbreak.
A fast-moving measles outbreak turning deadly in Texas. Health officials in Lubbock confirming an unvaccinated school-aged child has died.
We are now seeing a very serious consequence of what happens when we have measles in our community.
Sending shockwaves through West Texas, especially among those like Ben Ham, whose 18-month-old foster daughter is immunocompromised.
If she's around a cold, any type of sniffles, and she's not protected, she could be in the ICU.
Ham earlied up her second dose of the measles vaccine. As cases in Texas climb to at least 124, with 18 patients hospitalized, officials say. Almost all babies and children who are unvaccinated or awaiting their second dose. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic, responding to the outbreak for the first time.
We put out a post on it, and we're going to continue to follow it. It's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
Dr. Anna Montanez is on the front lines in Lubbock. She says while cases occur annually, she hasn't seen them this widespread.
Do we get it in patches every year? Maybe that is true, but it is in areas where there is no vaccination. There's low vaccination rates, if you will.
Experts say those born before 1957 likely have natural immunity because of how widespread the disease was. But those vaccinated between 1957 and 89, before a live virus was used or when only one shot was given, might consider a booster. Parents here hope this outbreak will soon be over. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
Yes, now for more on this is our friend NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel. Dr. Patel, good morning. So just how concerned should we be about the potential for this outbreak to spread further?
Listen, Savannah, if you're one of about 8% of children in the United States that are not vaccinated for different reasons because of age, religious exemptions, or just personal preferences, I would be concerned. And if you are, as you heard from Priscilla's reporting, if you're in kind of an immunocompromised status, whether you're young or old, that's also a concerning sign. And then third and final, a pregnant woman who has not been vaccinated would also be a concerning risk factor because you can't get this live vaccine while pregnant, but you can have incredible consequences if you were to get measles while pregnant.
Dr. Patel, what do you make of those comments? We just heard them there in Priscilla's piece from HHS Secretary RFK Jr., basically saying that this isn't unusual. We see outbreaks all the time.
So there's an element of truth to that in that we see outbreaks all the time. But I would just mark that it is unusual because we have a vaccine. We actually are declared measles as eradicated since 2000, Savannah. So that's concerning, combined with some actions yesterday where HHS has actually delayed some of the advisory committee meetings around the flu vaccine. So it's setting a tone, Savannah, that one, vaccines don't matter, and two, it's no big deal, when we just talked about one death. And unfortunately, we anticipate that as cases rise, we will see more deaths.
Dr. Patel, officials also say that, as you point out, specifically, none of the hospitalized patients in this outbreak were vaccinated. You mentioned some of those reasons, religious exemptions, personal preferences, but with vaccine hesitancy on the rise, and this being such a conversation since COVID-19, and there really is a high rate of unvaccinated in Gaines County where this is happening, the epicenter of this outbreak. Exemptions are actually nearly 18%. What needs to happen to get vaccination rates back up, and how dangerous is this for unvaccinated children?
I think we just need to have one-on-one conversations. We had a lot of this during COVID as well, where patients didn't want to get COVID vaccinations. I had to kind of talk to them and approach and meet people where they are, listen to why they were concerned and skeptical about it. A lot of it is around misinformation. For example, that measles cause autism, the vaccine causes autism. That's absolutely a blatant lie. I can show people evidence why that's not the case. The second is, for example, this notion that somehow natural measles confers immunity, because as you heard, before 1957, everybody got the measles. It seemed like a mild illness. It didn't seem so bad, and people would get immunity from it. But we've come a long way, and we also unfortunately see consequences from it. So I've taken the approach of trying to just tell people, you must. That's wrong. We learned that in COVID. I think we have to understand why people are hesitant and then try to really say, this is why I'm vaccinating myself, my children, and the people I love. And here, I want you to have this information. And I'll just say, when a community has about a 95% vaccination rate, it creates a wall to protect those who can't or will not become vaccinated. And we're seeing, unfortunately, pockets, not just in Texas, but as you heard, states around the country, all states where you see pockets where we're far below that 95%. We just need to talk to people and educate them. But we also need to tell them about the serious consequences, not just the death, but everything from high fevers, hearing loss, a lot of neurological consequences, and the fact that, Savannah, most doctors in the United States would not recognize a case of measles right away because it's not the first thing we think of when you walk into an emergency room.
That's a really good point. Dr. Patel, as always, great to have you. Thank you so much. Well, Hollywood is mourning the death of another actor this morning. Actress Michelle Trachtenberg was found dead in her New York City apartment yesterday. She was 39 years old. Now, the former child star was known for her roles in Gossip Girl and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has more on her life and the investigation into her untimely death.
Michelle Trachtenberg landed roles on the shows that all the kids were watching. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was Buffy's sister, Dawn. Then on to Gossip Girl. Trachtenberg played the manipulative and slightly evil Georgina Sparks.
I'm not her spy, you idiot. I am her.
NYPD officers discovered the 39-year-old actor unresponsive in a Manhattan apartment. According to police, she was pronounced dead at the scene, and criminality is not suspected. Trachtenberg got her start very young.
Yeah, I have the French toast.
But it was her role as Harriet the Spy, at just 10 years old, that created a generation of fans.
What are you writing? Notes. Can we read them? Can you read this?
She starred alongside Rosie O'Donnell.
Did you enjoy making the movie?
Yes, I loved making the movie.
O'Donnell called her death heartbreaking, adding, "I loved her very much. She struggled the last few years. I wish I could have helped." Police say a medical examiner is determining the cause of death, while recent photos on social media had some fans concerned for her health. At one point, Trachtenberg responding, "Fun fact, this is my face, not malnutrition, no problems." The creators of Gossip Girl remembered her talent, turning Georgina Sparks into an iconic fan favorite, adding, "She was also funny and kind, a delight to have on set."
Cute. You think this was about you.
Trachtenberg was a child actor whose fans grew up with her and are left stunned by her sudden death. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Thanks to Stephanie for that. Coming up, we're taking a closer look at faith and religion in the U.S.
Yeah, and we come back, the results of a new study that's breaking down Americans' beliefs. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Nvidia is smashing earnings season thanks to the AI boom.
Yeah, for more on that and on some other money news, let's bring in CNBC's Silvana Henao. Hey, Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. Yeah, shares of chip-making giant Nvidia are up in early trading after the company beat Wall Street expectations on the top and bottom lines for the fourth quarter. Nvidia also issued strong guidance ahead, showing continued demand for its Blackwell chip, driven by what else? The artificial intelligence race. Instagram parent company Meta is apologizing today after some users reported seeing a flood of violent and graphic content recommended on their personal Reels pages, including video of people being killed or maimed. The company says it, quote, fixed an error that caused that mistake. According to its website, Meta uses thousands of reviewers along with AI and machine learning tools to help remove the vast majority of content that violates its terms of use. But the error comes after Meta said last month it was shifting the way it monitors content on its platforms in order to reduce censorship and promote free expression. And all right, listen in, drum roll. The world's best coffee shop is in Sydney, Australia. According to a new list ranking the best, Toby's Estate Coffee Roasters holds the top spot. According to the rankings website, cafes worldwide were judged on a variety of factors, including the quality of the coffee and the food, sustainability practices, and of course, customer service. Now, Arkansas-based Onyx Coffee Lab took second place.
Congrats
wow,
to them.
That's pretty neat.
I have to wonder, is foam art something that they judge? Like,
I
would
wonder
think
that too. That is
important.
a very good, very good criteria.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Not important. It doesn't matter. It matters how it tastes.
Listen, I'm easily impressed, so I would be like,
same.
yes, they win.
Thanks, Silvana. A new survey looking at faith and religion in America shows 62% of Americans claim to be Christian. It's a number that's held steady for the past few years after nearly a decade of decline.
And while the survey also shows that the number of Jewish people in America hasn't changed much in recent years, other religions like Islam and Hinduism are on the rise.
For more on this, let's bring in Alan Cooperman. He is Director of Religion Research at the Pew Research Center. Good to have you with us. So let's walk through some of the data. More than half of Americans identify as Christian. Talk about how age factors in here. I mean, what do we know about the demographics of those surveyed?
Sure. So the big picture, the big change is stability in the picture, because for decades now, the share of Americans who identify as Christian of any variety has been going down. And the second largest group, which is now 29% of the population, is the group that we sometimes call the nones, N-O-N-E-S. That's the group that doesn't identify with any religion, and that's been growing over the decades. But in just the last few years, both the number of Christians has leveled off, and the share who identify as nones has plateaued. So nationally now, 62% of Americans identify as Christian, but there are big differences by age, which is what you were pointing to. So if you look at the boomer generation, my generation, 3/4 or more identify as Christians. Among the youngest generation, Gen Z, it's less than half identify as Christian.
Christianity also is this umbrella that encompasses many denominations, right? What did you learn about the different forms of Christianity people say they're practicing?
Well, you can divide up Christianity in a lot of ways, but the biggest group in the United States within the Christian fold are various kinds of Protestants, who are now at about 40% of the U.S. population. Catholics are at about 19%, and that number has been holding steady. And all other Christian groups, and that includes Orthodox Christians like Greek and Russian Orthodox, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, otherwise known as Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, et cetera, they're altogether only about 3%. Now, big picture, over the long term, all of those groups have been declining. And it's important, a lot of people don't realize this, but the share of Americans who identify as evangelical Protestants has also declined. It's now, in our latest data, in this big survey we did, 23% of U.S. adults identify as evangelical Protestants. But in 2007, it was 26%. Mainline Protestants, that's groups like Episcopalians, United Methodists, and so on, they're now 11% of the population, down from 18%.
Wow. Alan, we have less than a minute here, but just beyond the Christian faith, looking at other religions, what are some of the trends you're seeing?
Well, the non-Christian groups are small. They're only about 7% of the population, but they have grown. So back in 2007, all the non-Christian religions together were only about 5% of the U.S. population. Jews, you're right, Jews are stable at about 2%. The Muslim population has been growing. It's about 1%. Hindus about 1%, Buddhists about 1%, and all the others, and that's everything, Wiccans, Baha'i, et cetera, all those altogether about 2%.
All right. Alan Cooperman, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for sharing your research with us.
Super interesting. Coming up, a viral trend aims to keep friends together even when they're apart.
Yeah, up next, we're going to introduce you to the Wednesday Waffle on this Thursday morning and explain how it gives people the opportunity to stay connected.
Finally, this hour, it's normal for some people, right, to lose touch as their lives move in different directions.
Well, NBC News Now anchor Kate Snow has the story of a group of buddies who used a viral trend to help keep their friends close.
Kirks Diaz was visiting his girlfriend in New York City last year when he made a huge decision.
Half an hour before my flight was going to leave, I said, let's try and make this work, and I never left.
And stayed in New York.
Yeah, I stayed in New York, yeah.
Suddenly, he was thousands of miles from his friends back in London, and he didn't want to lose touch. One of his buddies mentioned the Wednesday Waffle.
When one of my friends put it in the group chat, I think in that moment we were all like, yo, this is a great idea. We should definitely do it, yeah. It's our friend Sam.
Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, because I get to talk to you, man.
The concept is simple. Every Wednesday, each guy sends a quick video to the group chat, like 2 minutes.
I think it's really important that we stay intentional about our connections, about our friendships, because otherwise they fade out.
It's not waffle like the breakfast food.
When you waffle on about something, it's like you're just chatting on about whatever it might be you're waffling on.
They share the everyday, vacations, relationships.
We've been friends for so long that we're able to have really deep and vulnerable conversations, and there's no judgment in the group chat, so we're able to say how we're feeling, what's going on, and to
the real stuff.
The real stuff. Yo.
Hello.
Eamon recently told the group he's in love.
Oh, you're in love.
Does she know that you've told the Wednesday Waffle group about her?
Yeah, she knows about it, yeah.
I want to introduce you to her.
The whole concept went viral when Zachary Perez posted this video during COVID from Australia. Now people around the globe, men and women, are waffling.
It's been pretty overwhelming to hear how many groups and guys just reaching out to me, telling me, you know, you wouldn't believe how much this has done for me and my mates.
It's just so easy being a video, like we don't have to catch up at a particular time.
I feel like we're constantly catching up, even though we only see each other in person a few times a year.
Simon and Matt both announced they were becoming dads on the Wednesday Waffle.
You never know when it's going to land, when one of them is going to be, you know, the best news you've heard all year.
Jack lost his father in 2021 and leaned on the group.
You know, seeing you boys each week just made an absolute world of difference.
Kirks is a true believer now. His TikTok going viral too.
This is your sign to start the Wednesday Waffle. 100% it will be worth it.
Even though it's a small amount of time, it's still some time that we make for each other. And I think that's super important.
Kate Snow, NBC News.
My college girlfriends and I do this.
Okay, you do.
We started it. One of them sent one of those videos, and then we've been doing it. It really is so neat.
That
it's
is
like,
an awesome tradition. That is
you
cool.
make some time to give some updates. And
you need that on a Wednesday, too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right, that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, though. The news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this Thursday. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, billionaire Elon Musk taking center stage at President Trump's first cabinet meeting of his new administration. We're going to take you inside the White House as the Supreme Court weighs in on the duo's controversial federal overhaul. Also this morning, that alarming measles outbreak in Texas that so far has infected more than 100 people, now turning deadly. The disease blamed for the death of a child, and it's leaving one Lone Star community racing to keep people safe. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, questions over how America's top health official, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been reacting. Breaking overnight, Hollywood legend Gene Hackman found dead in his Santa Fe, New Mexico home alongside his wife. Law enforcement saying just in the last few hours there were no signs of foul play. We'll tell you what we know so far and also look back at the incredible career of a stalwart of the stage and screen. We've got our eyes on the skies this weekend. A so-called Planetary parade is giving a whole new meaning to the phrase, the stars align. Get your telescopes handy, right?
I mean, that sounds fun. A planetary parade.
Exactly.
Sign us up.
All right. Let's begin this hour at the White House. President Trump's ongoing efforts to shrink the federal government. The man spearheading that initiative, billionaire Elon Musk, attended the president's first cabinet meeting yesterday and defended his team's work.
Yeah, this all comes as the Supreme Court temporarily blocked a midnight deadline set by a federal judge that ordered the Trump administration to release billions of dollars in frozen foreign aid. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander joins us on this. Hey, Peter, good morning.
Savannah and Joe, good morning to both of you. The Supreme Court ruling that pause on foreign aid can now remain. It's going to remain for the time being, but this is the latest in a heated legal back and forth over President Trump's day one order. His allies quickly dismantling USAID, the government agency that delivers $40 billion to support humanitarian work in countries around the world. The Supreme Court is now expected to fully review the case before deciding what happens next. Overnight, the Supreme Court wading into President Trump's battle over government spending. Ahead of a midnight deadline, Chief Justice John Roberts blocking a judge's order that the administration release $2 billion in frozen foreign aid funds. Aid groups sued the administration after President Trump froze the money in January. The administration had said it needed more time to review the payments. Roberts not resolving the underlying issues, but asking both sides to respond by Friday. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, the headliner at President Trump's first cabinet meeting. Musk touting his Department of Government Efficiency's sweeping effort to slash the federal workforce, with the biggest round of layoffs yet to come.
If we don't do this, America will go bankrupt.
In a memo obtained by NBC News, the White House budget director ordering agency heads to submit plans for large-scale reductions in force in 2 weeks. It follows Musk's directive that all federal workers email a list of 5 things they accomplished in the last week or face termination. The move catching several agency heads off guard, some instructing their employees not to respond.
I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review.
The president interjecting after Musk was asked if members of the cabinet were unhappy with him.
Hey, Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, well, throw him out of here.
The president warning federal workers who have not yet replied to Musk's email could still be fired.
And it's possible that a lot of those people will be actually fired. And if that happened, that's okay.
For now, many federal workers like Jonathan Curry, who was just fired from what he calls his dream job at the IRS, are worried about what comes next.
I have a wife, 3 kids, and a 4th on the way. We're a single income family, so for our income to go from what it was to nothing abruptly with no severance, it can be frightening.
During that marathon cabinet meeting here, Musk admitted his team will make mistakes and promises they'll fix them very quickly, acknowledging that they accidentally canceled Ebola prevention efforts before he says they immediately restored them. But the Washington Post reports that current and former USAID officials say that Musk is wrong there, that the Ebola prevention efforts have been largely halted since he and his allies took action, adding that the teams and contractors that would be deployed to fight an Ebola outbreak have been dismantled. Joe and Savannah.
All right, Peter, thank you.
Now to that deadly measles outbreak in Texas. Health officials say the highly contagious disease has now taken the life of a child, and cases are still climbing, now more than 120 and counting. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson joins us from Lubbock, Texas, where they're ramping up vaccine clinics to help people keep safe. Priscilla, good morning.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. And overnight, Kentucky reported its first case of the measles there in an adult who had traveled internationally. But it comes after this child in Texas has died. The CDC saying that this is the first child in the U.S. to die from measles in more than 2 decades, as officials here on the ground are encouraging people to be vigilant and get vaccinated. This morning, an unvaccinated child has died from measles, officials say, amid a worsening outbreak in West Texas.
This virus can have severe and deadly consequences.
State health department officials have confirmed at least 124 cases, 18 of them resulting in hospitalizations.
The patients who have been hospitalized, they've all been unvaccinated.
Now, fears the highly contagious disease is spreading. A case was just reported in an adult near Dallas. And Texas health officials say a person who unknowingly had measles traveled to San Marcos and San Antonio, potentially exposing people at 2 major universities and half a dozen restaurants and stores.
We worry about measles because it's one of the most transmissible pathogens we know of.
In a cabinet meeting Wednesday, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic, appearing to downplay the current outbreak.
It's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
Kennedy also saying hospitalizations were done mainly for quarantine, though healthcare providers on the front lines say that's not true.
We don't hospitalize patients for quarantine purposes.
Health experts also arguing this outbreak, which comes amid a decline in childhood vaccination rates, is different.
When you have individuals who aren't immune, then that gives the virus the opportunity to spread really rapidly.
Cases have now been reported in 9 states, but officials have not said they're connected. Pediatricians like Ana Montanez in Lubbock emphasizing the importance of being fully vaccinated.
With 1 dose of the vaccine, your protection is anywhere from 90 to 93%. After the 2nd dose, the protection rate goes up to 97 to 100%. If you could buy 2 lottery tickets and be guaranteed 97% chance of winning the lottery, would you do it?
And here in Lubbock, the state health department has set up a vaccine clinic. Health officials here are also urging parents who have children who are under 12 months to consider talking to their doctor about getting that measles vaccine earlier, before the 1-year mark when it's usually administered. And adults who are unsure of the protection they have can also see their doctor about getting a blood test to determine if they might need a booster in order to up their protection. Joe?
That lottery analogy, a great way to look at this. Priscilla, thank you so much.
We have some breaking news from Hollywood this morning. Legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead in their New Mexico home yesterday. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has the latest.
This is such sad news, and there are still a lot of questions. Hackman was 95 and had been living with his wife in Santa Fe for years. Police have not given a cause of death, but there is an investigation. This morning, authorities investigating the death of a Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman found dead Wednesday alongside his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe. Police say the couple, who married in 1991, were found with their dog after a neighbor called police to do a welfare check. Authorities say there is no immediate indication of foul play in the deaths, but they did not provide a cause of death or say when the couple might have died. The two-time Oscar winner always showing grit, intellect, and intensity on the screen. Hackman had the uncanny ability to vanish into any role.
And the problem is?
From tough as nails good cop Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, which earned him his first Oscar.
I'm gonna get him.
To Lex Luthor, opposite Christopher Reeve in Superman.
Mind over muscle.
And after that, a remarkable run of iconic roles in dozens of films, winning over audiences with movies like Hoosiers and Crimson Tide.
Mr. Hunter, I've made a decision. I'm captain of this boat. You're relieved of your position.
And critics with a second Oscar win with Unforgiven.
He's got one barrel left.
He kept working even after heart surgery in 1990, turning to mostly comedic roles. It was against the law. Until his retirement in the early 2000s. Hackman and his wife moving to Santa Fe. He continued to work as a novelist, publishing his 5th book in 2013. Though the two were occasionally spotted together, Hackman largely preferred to stay out of the public eye in recent years, while audiences remember him through a remarkable on-screen career. Now police investigating the screen legend's death. Police are looking into the timing of all of this. They noted that welfare check happened in the afternoon, but it's unclear how much time had elapsed before their bodies were discovered. And of course, there's this question about no foul play. The sheriff's spokesperson had told the local newspaper overnight that they were waiting on the approval of a search warrant and that everything was still preliminary. Back to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you.
This morning, the Menendez brothers face a new hurdle in their fight for freedom, just weeks away from their critical resentencing hearing. Eric and Lyle Menendez are currently serving life sentences without parole for the murders of their parents back in 1989. Well, now California's governor is weighing in, calling for a risk assessment into the brothers to help determine if they should be released. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz has the latest.
Well, hey there. Good morning. One of the 3 ways the Menendez brothers could get out of prison is simply by Governor Gavin Newsom granting them clemency. Up until now, the governor has taken a hands-off approach, but now he's taken a significant next step, ordering the California Board of Parole to launch an investigation into the brothers to determine what, if any, risk they'd pose to the public if released.
It's the latest step in the Menendez brothers' bid for freedom. California Governor Gavin Newsom announcing on his new podcast that he's calling for the state parole board to launch a risk assessment into Eric and Lyle Menendez, the brothers who have been pushing to get out of prison, arguing they're rehabilitated men after spending 35 years behind bars for murdering their parents, Jose and Kitty, in their Beverly Hills home.
The question for the board is a rather simple one. Do Eric and Lyle Menendez, do they pose a current what we call unreasonable risk to public safety?
The move, outlined in letters to the brothers' attorney, is part of their appeal to the governor for clemency, one of 3 legal paths they're taking in an attempt to reduce their life sentences.
There's no guarantee of outcome here. My office conducts dozens and dozens of these clemency reviews on a consistent basis.
Still, family members backing the brothers celebrating the announcement.
I'm beyond thrilled that the governor is engaged and here we go.
Did you cry?
Yes.
For years, the brothers have argued they acted in self-defense after years of abuse by their father, something Lyle spoke about in a recent interview on TMZ's Two Angry Men podcast.
I was the first person to testify in front of a national audience about male sexual abuse. I received a lot of ridicule in the 90s about it, but also a lot of support.
Last week, the Los Angeles district attorney took a more critical view, opposing the brothers' request for a new trial, casting doubt on new evidence they say backs up their claims of abuse.
Is this credible evidence? We argue in many different ways it is not credible evidence.
But the DA still needs to weigh in soon on their third path to freedom, resentencing, which he tells us will take a broader view of the case.
What's the most important thing you're looking at as you make this decision about whether to recommend resentencing?
We're going to look at everything. I've already looked at trial evidence. We'll be looking at the rehabilitation.
Now, the DA says that also does include weighing the abuse allegations. As for the parole board investigation, the governor says he wants that done in the next 90 days. That will include looking at both Eric and Lau's prison files and rehabilitation efforts. And I'm told also speaking directly to the brothers themselves. The governor says he will send the findings of that assessment to both the new DA and the judge overseeing their resentencing hearing, which is scheduled for next month. Back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you so much. For more on where this case goes from here, let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Angela Sinadella. Angela, good morning. First of all, Governor has a podcast. Who knew? Second of all, let's talk about it. My guess is he didn't wait until now because he was probably waiting for the DA to give his piece a few days ago. But talk about how this impacts things moving forward.
Yeah, so the DA actually hasn't even given his opinion yet on this resentencing. So there were 3 passed. Now there's 2 because the habeas corpus petition was officially not supported by the DA's office. So now with both passed that are remaining, actually it is the governor who has the final say in both. So we did hear of this clemency path, but the second path of this rehabilitation. So let's say the DA gets on board and then the judge actually finally signs off on this resentencing. Well, it doesn't mean the brothers just walk out of jail. It means that they still have to go in front of the parole board. And then after whatever decision the parole board makes, it is ultimately Newsom's decision to either approve or to reject that parole board decision. So he's just making very public that he is doing his due diligence, that he's not just going to sign off without a great deal of attention here.
Let's talk about this whole, the work that they're doing here to determine if they are a safety risk or not. What's that look like?
Yeah, so this is not uncommon really at any part of the process. So these risk assessments also happen pre-trial and often like this, post-trial, especially if there was any sort of a changed circumstance. So there's 2 things they look at. One, static factor, second, dynamic. Static being things that can't be changed. So their criminal history, also things like their age, have they been violent in their past? And then dynamic factors, which are what can be changed. And these are things like a support network, how well they behaved in prison, do they have employment prospects? And then they actually break it down numerically. They give numbers because ultimately what the governor and nobody wants is for them to be released and to go back and recommit a crime or to reoffend. So it's actually a statistical analysis of will they reoffend or not?
Some people might be looking at this and thinking, oh, the governor might be leaning toward clemency, but we should know it. I've covered cases over the years where the parole board comes in and says, yes, this person should be paroled, and then the governor steps in and says, no, we don't know what's going to happen here,
That's
right?
exactly right. And in fact, with the clemency petition, the governor even never has to respond, period. There's no timeline. So the governor can reject or approve parole, and then also with clemency, just maybe even never respond. So we don't really know with finality what will happen here.
All right, Angela, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, we are getting new insights on a notorious political sex scandal that rocked the nation more than 27 years ago. Monica Lewinsky just opened up on the popular Call Her Daddy podcast, and she talked about how differently she thinks things should have been handled when news broke about her affair with then-President Bill Clinton, while she, of course, was a White House intern. NBC News senior Washington correspondent and NBC News Now anchor Hallie Jackson has more.
Nearly 30 years after an affair with the president forced a then 24-year-old woman into a spotlight of speculation and ridicule.
Monica Lewinsky, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Monica Lewinsky now working to reclaim her narrative and reflect back on the scandal that forever changed her life.
I was lucky enough to hold on to a strand of my true self.
Yeah.
But I lost my future.
Speaking with Call Her Daddy host Alex Cooper, Lewinsky said the relationship she had with then-President Bill Clinton had, in her words, a level of consensuality. But when the news broke, she faced a seemingly relentless stream of scrutiny and criticism.
How aware were you of this power imbalance?
I don't think that was something we talked about, very much back then, in the same way that we didn't have words like slut shaming and fat shaming.
Lewinsky says while she did make mistakes and at the time never wanted Clinton to lose his job, she now believes the former president, who initially denied the affair in remarks to the nation.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Should have done things differently.
I think that the right way to handle a situation like that would have been to probably say it was, nobody's business and to resign.
Lewinsky also saying while she no longer feels like she needs a direct apology, she's never received one from Clinton, something Craig asked the former president about in 2018.
No.
I've never talked to her, but I did say publicly on more than one occasion that I was sorry.
Now, at 51, Lewinsky is a prominent anti-bullying advocate and the host of her own podcast, telling Savannah last week she believes her past has been part of what helps put guests at ease.
It lets people know I'm not going to judge them.
And as she charts a new path forward,
I will always be defined in some way by my history. I am also defined by my present.
All right. Thanks, Hallie, for that report. Let's get a check now on your morning news now weather.
Angie Lassman's got your outlook. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. I hope you like the spring-like feel in the air because it's sticking around for a little while longer. We've got a whole lot of folks across the country that are dealing with above normal temperatures. Almost 20 degrees above normal today. For your afternoon high in Wichita, we are near 70 degrees. We've got mid-70s across parts of Texas, 83 degrees in Phoenix. Albuquerque is set to hit 67 degrees. And even out east, Detroit, 53 degrees, upper 60s for Memphis. That warmth sticks around for a lot of us as we head into tomorrow, but you'll start to see an indication of kind of a moderating out for our temperatures across parts of the Great Lakes and the Midwest before we really start to take a dive with those temperatures as we get into the weekend. But here's your deal for tomorrow. 42 degrees in Portland, low 60s for Washington, D.C. Notice early next week as we round out our weekend and head into early next week. We've got 30s for Columbus, ending up into the mid-40s for Monday, mid-50s by Tuesday. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride. 50s for Little Rock on Sunday, and back to those low 70s we go by Tuesday. Similar story for Green Bay. We're into the 30s to wrap up our weekend and back to the 40s by the time we head to Tuesday. Milder conditions will settle in beyond that. But we've also got a couple of systems to track. And this morning, some of that could leave us with a bit of rain, maybe a little bit of snow, depending on where you are. Specifically across the Great Lakes and the Northeast is where we're seeing the unsettled weather. So rain for our friends from Hartford down through New York, Washington, D.C. The I-95 corridor, a little wet. That's going to slow you down likely on the roadways. We're finally seeing drier skies in Pittsburgh and Charleston. You woke up to some early morning showers and across parts of the Great Lakes, across parts of New York and into the interior area of New England. That's where we see some of that kind of wintry mix and some snow. Of course, temperatures have been on the mild side, so it's not a large area that's dealing with snow. But of course, our friends in New England are going to pick up some of that light snow through the day today, specifically the farther north you go. Notice how fast the system moves offshore. So we're not going to be looking at kind of a fully unsettled day like along the I-95 corridor and such. But again, it could slow you down. But we will gear up for our next system, and that arrives for tomorrow. This is a look at that Clipper system that's going to move right across the Great Lakes. It's going to be fast mover as usual with these kinds of systems. It does bring us some accumulating snowfall, specifically Minnesota to western New York. It'll be impressive in some spots, those higher elevations and the areas downwind of the lakes. But we'll start to see that kind of winding down as we head into Saturday. We'll still get some of this kind of snowfall lasting across parts of the Adirondacks and the White Mountains. So great for folks that want to get out there and get some last minute winter sports in for one more weekend. The chilly winds will stay in place, though. So not only are our temperatures cooling down, but we'll also see some kind of windy conditions coming across the lake for the Great Lakes and the Midwest. Snowfall forecast looks impressive in some spots. Remember, downwind of the lakes is where we'll see those highest amounts, up to a foot possible just north of Syracuse, Watertown. You can see that upper peninsula of Michigan. And again, those higher elevations. Let's head out west now, where we do have a wind advisory for Southern California. A couple of those ingredients are in place for us to see kind of some difficult situations today when it comes to the winds, gusty winds and low humidity. So relative humidity clocking in about 5 to 15%. This advisory is going to last through the afternoon hours. And those gusts, you can expect them to be anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per hour. We, of course, need some rain. We did have some rain in recent history, guys. So that's kind of limiting our fire threat for now. But of course, we'll keep a close eye on that as we deal with the warmth, the windy conditions, and that low humidity across that region.
Offshore winds are the most dangerous factor oftentimes when it comes to the fires.
Yes.
Thanks, Angie.
Of course. Thank you. We've got much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now. A little later, we're digging for gold, taking you behind President Trump's recent fascination with what is or isn't inside Fort Knox.
First, Miami Beach's spring break breakup, burning local businesses as police tighten security. We're going to take you there next.
Welcome back. A new crackdown on online scam centers has led to thousands of people from around the world being held in a Myanmar border town.
NBC News reporter Matt Bodler has more on that and some other international headlines. Matt, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning. This is part of an effort by Thailand, Myanmar, and China that came about following the Thai Prime Minister's visit to Beijing last month. There she promised to take action against massive scam networks that have drawn thousands of people from around the world to Myanmar for promises of honest work under false pretenses. These are some of the infamous scam call centers, which financially exploit people around the world with various scams. 7,000 people who are working essentially in slavery in these centers are currently being held in a border town in Myanmar awaiting repatriation to Thailand. Moving along now to Japan, where the number of babies born in 2024 fell yet again for the 9th year in a row. Japan is currently struggling with the demographic crisis, and government efforts to encourage more childbearing have so far not yet produced results. Not helping the situation is Japan's aging population, which saw a record 1.2 million deaths. Essentially, 2 people die for every child born in Japan as things currently stand. There have also been fewer marriages in Japan in recent years, though that number is trending up in recent years. And we'll wrap up this hour in Belgium, where a baby white rhino named Nova made her public debut at a local zoo. Nova jumped, frolicked around alongside her mother, Ellie, who brought her out into the open to meet other rhinos earlier this week. Nova was born on January 2nd. She's so far spent most of her life in the warmer, more secure area of this zoo enclosure. Nova is a southern white rhinoceros, which is the most common subspecies, but they are considered near threatened. That's 2 steps below endangered. The threat to them is largely habitation loss, but also poaching for their horns. Back to you guys.
All right, Matt, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, it is still February, but here in the U.S., millions of students are getting ready to flock to the beaches for spring break starting this weekend. While authorities in Florida prepare for the crowd, some business owners say they're already feeling the pinch from new security measures put in place. NBC News correspondent Maya Eaglin has more.
As Miami Beach officials urge rowdy spring breakers to stay away again this year.
Miami ghosted you like that? That's crazy.
But don't worry, Broward County's right here.
Nearby Fort Lauderdale says its beaches are open for business.
Fort Lauderdale, we open our doors to everybody. We welcome all tourists, and we're very happy to be able to host Spring Break 2025 again this year.
But officials warning partygoers to follow the rules, which include no alcohol, tents, tables, or camping on the beach. The city increasing police presence and adding a 5:30 p.m. daily beach sweep.
No fighting. We're all friends here. We all just want to enjoy the break. Don't even think about running from us. Did y'all forget we have helicopters?
Both Fort Lauderdale and Miami responding to a string of chaotic post-COVID spring breaks. Huge crowds flowing into both beaches, along with multiple Miami shootings in 2023, alarming local officials.
We're re-implementing the $100 parking rate in the entertainment district for non-residents, doubling the towing fees to over $500, and of course, proactively announcing the endorsement of a curfew if it were needed.
Miami Beach also closing many of their parking garages, setting up DUI checkpoints, suspending scooter and golf cart rentals, and closing sidewalk seating on Ocean Drive. But all of this also having an impact on some small businesses.
It's terrible. I feel very badly for my staff each day.
David Wallach, who started the Miami Beach mainstay Mangoes in the 1990s, says officials have failed to draw in new crowds.
All of a sudden, they're going to enforce the laws. Well, that's a wonderful thing. But our customers, the really good customers, are not all kids. And all of our good customers have been really chased away as well,
leaving him and his staff on edge.
Can you give me more of a sense of how severe the profit margin loss was in the last 2 summers?
Zero profit and into the red. That's how far. We're talking businesses down 30 to 40%. And the scary thing is we're still dropping.
But even with the pushback from business owners like Wallach, the mayor has stood behind the restrictions.
Arrests were down last year. Hotel occupancy was up. It tells you a lot. It was crowded. Our restaurants and hotels were thriving.
Maya Eaglin, NBC News.
Coming up, ditching the digital.
When we come back, we will scroll through a new study showing a little time off the internet on your phone might be just what the doctor ordered. Stay with us. It's up next.
We are back with a look at the groundbreaking surgery that helped save the lives of not just one, but 3 young girls.
This morning, we're going to hear from their families and how doctors managed to get the most out of a generous donation to make this complex procedure a reality. NBC News Now anchor Kate Snow is here with the story for us. Hi, Kate. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. This really is an incredible story. It's actually a follow-up to a story that I did 3 years ago for NBC News when doctors at Duke University then first figured out how to do a partial heart transplant on an infant. Well, now they're so good at that procedure, one heart can save multiple lives.
These 3 girls have a lifelong bond. It all started last fall when 11-year-old Journey Kelly suddenly felt tired.
It was hard to breathe.
It was her heart.
She was in severe heart failure.
At 11 years old.
At 11 years of age.
Then, earlier this year, the Kellys got a life-saving call. A donor heart became available. And Duke pediatric heart surgeons Dr. Joseph Turek and Dr. Douglas Overby went to Journey's parents with an idea. Journey would get that new heart, but although her old heart muscle wasn't working, the valves could still be used to help other patients.
We call it a domino transplant, which means that one person gets a new heart and then the heart that comes out has good valves in it, and so we can split that heart into multiple recipients at that point.
Those recipients, Margaret Van Bruggen and Kensley Frizzell.
And how did you feel about being able to help these two a little bit, too?
I'm happy that I did.
That piece of her heart probably saved your life.
Yeah, it probably did.
That's what Daddy said. He said this heart surgery will save my life.
9-year-old Kensley was born with a heart defect and had her first operation at just 2 weeks old. One of Journey's valves would help replace Kensley's failing aortic valve. 14-year-old Margaret, a cross-country runner, thought she had a stomach bug, but ended up in the ER.
I had a staph infection, and I also actually had endocarditis, which is when the staph gets into your heart.
She needed a new mitral valve, a complex valve located deep inside the heart that looks kind of like a parachute attached to muscle by pieces that resemble cords.
It's a more difficult valve to access.
Doctors had never transplanted a living mitral valve into anyone.
It's incredibly groundbreaking when you think about who this is going to help and the thousands of children that this could help in the future.
Over 3 days, Dr. Turek and Dr. Overby orchestrated 3 demanding and complex surgeries, all successful. The families returning to Duke to talk with us, some had never met. Margaret's mom, Elizabeth, joining Kensley's dad, Keenan, and Journey's mom, Rachel.
I'm really grateful, really grateful.
1 donor heart, 3 lives saved.
I just think it's more than extraordinary.
Helping 2 other families, it couldn't be more perfect.
It makes me want more people to be donors.
People might not realize the impact they can have.
That's right.
In the hospital, Margaret wrote a card to Journey.
Dear Journey, hi, I'm Margaret, and you gave me a part of your old heart. But guess what you are? Amazing. That's what you are.
All 3 girls feeling better.
Now after my surgery, I can breathe much, much better.
I'm really excited to get back to running because it's honestly one of my favorite things to do.
Journey wants to go shopping and visit Hawaii. Kensley is looking forward to riding her dirt bike again. She turned 9 in the hospital and says the best birthday present she got was that new heart valve.
Because that's really important, my heart.
You guys are probably going to know each other for the rest of your lives. I'll bet your families will keep in touch a little bit.
There's no way I can forget her. She's inside of me.
Margaret and Kensley were able to go back to school last week because they got living valves that will grow with them. That means they don't have to take as much medication like blood thinners. Journey has a longer recovery because she got a whole new heart. Their doctors are all optimistic, though, that they will see them only for checkups and they won't have to grow up in a hospital. All the parents, guys, told me they just want to see this replicated, not just in the U.S., but all over the world. This kind of domino transplant could happen one day.
Wow, and to really get everything you can out of any donated organs, especially when there's a shortage. Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you, Kate. That was amazing.
Great story.
Well, from heart health to mental health, in a world where we're constantly connected to our smartphones, right? It's hard to imagine life without them. But what happens when we take a break from the digital world?
Well, a recent study found disconnecting from the internet on your phone for just 2 weeks could be just what the doctor ordered. 91% of participants in this study say they saw an improvement in their mental health, their overall well-being, and their attention span.
And joining us now to talk more on this is Associate Professor of Pediatrics at the University of Michigan, Dr. Jenny Radesky. Dr. Radesky, thanks very much for joining us on this one. So tell us more about these results and how participants also reacted to this digital break.
Yeah, this was a really nicely designed study that tightly controlled if we take away the smart features of our phones and only use it for texting or messaging or calling other people, what does it do to our brains in terms of our attention spans and our mood? And so they randomized adults to either take 2 weeks off of all internet and Wi-Fi connected apps on their phone, which only 25% of the sample was actually able to do for the full 2 weeks, or at least 10 days. So that says something. And then they asked them throughout the time, what are you doing outside of using media? How are you connecting with other people? How are you sleeping? And those were some of the most important indicators of who felt better after those 2 weeks. I love that they actually tested their attention span and found that only 2 weeks off from all those parts of your phone can actually significantly improve your attention span and your mood.
And such a quick change there. Let's talk about the why. As we mentioned, 91% of people reported an improvement in their mental health after those 2 weeks. Personally, I don't do social media. I found the negatives outweighed the positives. I stopped doing it. My mental health improved. I don't spend much time on my phone because I find it makes me present, which I find to be a benefit. What did people in this study say about why it helped them?
Well, the researchers sent them messages every day or every week to check in on what else are you doing now that you're not spending all this time on your phone. So there was more time outdoors or other offline activities, more getting together with friends, more time sleeping, and more time doing things like reading. Surprisingly, they didn't replace all that time with just watching movies or shows or streaming. They actually used other media less also. So maybe it was helping them break that habit of always having this, go-to thing that we do with our downtime. Every minute of boredom, it's so easy to fill it with a screen that's in our house or in our hands. So I do think, and I've been talking with lots of parents who want to cut down on their media use, and having some of these boundaries is, I think, a really important ingredient right now, especially with so much going on in the news. We need to carve out time that's just for us and for our kids.
It's obviously tough, though, right, to just like cold turkey it when it comes to the internet on your phone, obviously as evidenced by people who couldn't even really make it through. How can we start to take small steps with some boundaries here?
Yeah, and this is going to vary based on who you are. Like, are you the sort of person who needs to do all or nothing? I'm just going to take a break. Or do you like to do small experiments and little steps? So you can go to the App Store and try to find some of these apps that help you set some boundaries. You can also just try a few steps at a time. Try taking off notifications on your phone, especially the apps that might take up most of your time. Look at your screen time output. Which apps are you spending a ton of time on? And then reflect on, was this meaningful time or was this just kind of, mindless scrolling? And then decide on a few settings. You might put on some downtime settings on your phone. You might take maybe a 30-minute timer, because after 30 minutes scrolling, that's when people tell us it starts to feel icky and out of your control. And then also get some physical distance from your phone. That's what parents tell me helps the most. Leave it in your bag, put it in another room so it's just out of sight, out of mind.
Real quick here, we're tight on time. The research focuses on those 18 and up, but I have to imagine this research could inform kids and how we handle that, right?
Absolutely. And in two ways. If you're the parent of a younger kid, the more time you can stay away from your phone, the more time you have to either get your own self-care or be with your kids and play with them. The second way is for tweens and teens who have a phone. We should start out with a lot of these boundaries just so they don't get used to, constantly filling downtime with picking up their phone.
All right. Great to have you, Dr. Radesky. Thanks for joining us. Good to
Thank
see
you.
Coming up, gold digging.
Yeah, after the break, sounds like something straight out of a Bond movie, but what's really behind President Trump's latest obsession with Fort Knox, the conspiracy theory now getting some mainstream attention. That's next.
Welcome back. President Trump has once again amplified a conspiracy theory by promising to visit Fort Knox to make sure the gold is actually there. NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo went to Kentucky to learn more about the famous vault and the decades of rumors about what's inside.
The people who live near Fort Knox have heard pretty much all the conspiracy theories.
Who would have taken
the gold.
As far as the missing gold, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that.
About the federal facility at the heart of town where a huge chunk of the country's gold supply is stored. What's not a secret, President Trump's long love affair with gold, from bars with his name on it to signs outside his Manhattan home. And that famous golden escalator that started his political career. He's now making a promise to find out once and for all, is the gold still there?
We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. Wouldn't that be terrible if we opened it up and there was no gold there? If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
Despite the president's speculation, there's no evidence the gold is not there, which we'll get into in just a bit.
Fort Knox is one of the most secure places in this country, so I am 100% sure that the gold is there.
But those conspiracies, almost as old as the first deposits back in 1937.
Minimum offensive fire until I signal bomb has been neutralized.
With the mystery driven by the 1964 James Bond film Goldfinger, after its villain tried to tank the economy by ruining the gold supply. Of course, the U.S. doesn't rely on gold anymore to back the dollar, a change finalized by Richard Nixon in 1971, but we still keep a ton of it, or really tons of it, locked up. An expert we asked told us it's basically collateral.
There might be foreign currency reserves, there might be gold reserves, and this increases the confidence that the dollar is sound.
The U.S. Mint says about half of the country's gold is at Fort Knox. The whole thing built under thousands of tons of steel and concrete, heavily guarded. And secrecy is part of the point.
This is for the unbelievers. Okay.
The vault only opened twice since FDR. The first time in September 1974 for a group of journalists and members of Congress to dispel rumors the gold was gone. The second time during the first Trump administration, when then Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin got a look for himself.
The gold was there when I visited it. I hope nobody's moved it. I'm sure they haven't.
So did Kentucky's Republican governor at the time, who's dismissing the conspiracies this week.
It is so ridiculously secured that it is not possible to sneak anything out of there.
In fact, it's so secure, they don't want us filming anywhere near that building that has the gold. This is about as close as we could get. So where could the president have gotten the idea that the gold might not be there? As with so many right-wing conspiracies, Alex Jones, the man who had to liquidate his assets to pay for massive defamation verdicts over the lies he spread about the Sandy Hook school shooting.
In the last 40-something years, most of our gold was sent overseas.
Then picked up in a tweet by Elon Musk, who said it'd be cool to do a walkthrough at Fort Knox.
Yeah, we want to go see it.
But even the president's new Treasury Secretary says everything is accounted for.
We do an audit every year, so the audit that ended the year September 30th, 2024, all the gold is present and accounted for.
It's all getting extra attention as the price of the precious metal hits records, close to $3,000 an ounce. But that gold at Fort Knox is not on the market. Back in town, residents embracing their role, and the people say they're ready for the president's visit, whenever that might be.
Oh, I'd love to see him come to Fort Knox. It'd be awesome.
The president wants to come. It's history for our kids.
Whether that proof would be enough to convince naysayers is an open question.
Thanks to Stephen Romo for that report. Well, more from the White House. The Trump administration is thinking about cutting a substantial contract awarded to Moderna for the development of a bird flu vaccine.
CNBC's Savannah Henao has that and some other money news. Savannah, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning to you. That is right. The Trump administration is reportedly reevaluating its nearly $600 million contract with Moderna to develop a bird flu vaccine. Bloomberg reports that the review of the contract awarded during the Biden administration is part of a push to look into spending on messenger RNA-based vaccines. That's the same technology used in Moderna's COVID vaccine. The FAA is reportedly close to scrapping a $2.4 billion contract with Verizon to overhaul its communication system in favor of awarding it to Elon Musk's Starlink. That's according to the Washington Post. Now, Verizon did not comment, but an executive said at an event early this week that Starlink's efforts might be complementary to the Verizon system, which is expected to be operational soon. Canceling a multi-billion-dollar contract in favor of a Musk company would likely test the conflict of interest guardrails in awarding government projects. Musk also took aim at Verizon this week, writing on his X platform that Verizon's system isn't working and is putting air travelers at risk. And times are tough, apparently, because the Tooth Fairy is having a rough time. According to Delta Dental's annual index, the Tooth Fairy is paying less for lost teeth than last year. According to the survey of 1,000 parents, the average value of a tooth dropped from $5.84 to $5.01. But kids are still ahead of the curve. Delta Dental says the average cash gift for a tooth has increased 285% since 1998 when a single chomper went for $1.30.
I got a quarter.
I don't remember what I got. That's a funny thing to
didn't get anything.
Nothing. All right. Well, $5 is
I
pretty good.
hope to keep your teeth and
jewelry.
you don't have to test it now as an adult. Thanks, Savannah. We're turning now to the breaking news we brought to you earlier. Two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman was found dead in his New Mexico home yesterday alongside his wife. Their dog was also found dead. Now, the cause of their deaths is still under investigation, but authorities are saying there's no immediate sign of foul play. Well, this morning, Hollywood is remembering Hackman, mourning his loss and remembering some of his most iconic roles, from Superman to The French Connection. This morning, Hollywood is remembering one of the greats.
All right, Popeye's here. Get your hands on your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall.
Gene Hackman never fit the mold of a typical star, but blazed his own path into movie history. Often called an everyman, Hackman, in fact, played every different type of character, from a cop to a convict, a senator to a spy, and Lex Luthor to the president. As a young man, Hackman lied about his age so he could join the Marines, then took a shot at fame, working odd jobs to finance auditions.
Every day was like a new challenge. It was going out and trying to get that job and doing those auditions, and I loved it.
It wasn't until he appeared in Bonnie and Clyde at age 36 that Hollywood took notice. But the true breakout moment came with a car chase for the ages. Hackman earned his first Oscar for his role as Popeye Doyle in The French Connection. Then came the action, from the Poseidon Adventure to Superman with Hackman's indelible Lex Luthor.
Mind over muscle.
In between, he worked on comedies and critically acclaimed films, even the iconic sports drama Hoosiers. He gained an Oscar nomination for the searing Mississippi Burning and a second win for his role as a sheriff in 1992's Unforgiven.
I don't deserve this.
Following it up opposite Tom Cruise in The Firm, and a run of hits. He kept working through the early 2000s, winning over new audiences with the Royal Tenenbaums. In 2004, he reflected on his prolific career with Al around the release of Welcome to Mooseport.
And now here we are, the new millennium, and you're still working as much as ever.
Yeah, it's very seductive. You know, it's narcotic in a way, because it's, you know, you come to work and there's 90 people standing around waiting for you to do something, to you know, and that's attractive. In a fun. I think I can give it up now.
That would be his last movie in a career that delighted audiences for decades. Gene Hackman, 95 years old. He lived in Santa Fe for more than 30 years, writing 5 books in addition to his movie career. Now, during the heart of his acting career, there were times he starred in 3 or 4 movies a year.
Jeez, busy guy.
He was a hard worker, especially in the 70s
Yeah,
and 80s.
wow, amazing.
All right, coming up, a solar spectacle that'll have our eyes on the skies this weekend.
After the break, we're going to tell you when you might be able to catch a rare planetary parade, as it's known. We'll tell you what's actually behind this far-out phenomenon up next. Welcome back this morning. A new lunar lander is officially on its way to the moon's south pole. The spacecraft, named Athena, was launched last night on top of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from the Kennedy Space Center. It is expected to land on the moon as early as next Thursday, although landing on the south pole of the moon is particularly difficult. The lander's mission for NASA is to drill into the moon's surface to examine its rocks and soil and hopefully discover water.
That would be cool. It's going to be fun to track that. Let's keep the space theme going and end with another space story we've been following, the so-called Planetary parade that will be visible starting tomorrow night.
This is so cool. While that is not the official astronomical term, it is used to describe a rare celestial event where multiple planets, in this case, all of them, line up and can be seen in the sky.
We're joined now by Dr. Paul Sutter for more on this planetary phenomenon. He is an astrophysicist, a NASA advisor, and author of How to Die in Space. Dr. Sutter, always good to have you with us. I mean, talk about just how rare is this event and how long will these planets actually be aligned?
Oh, this is a very, very special event. While we have all the planets of the solar system visible in the same sky at once Friday night, that's tomorrow night. This August, 4 planets will be visible at the same time. A few years from now, 5 planets will be visible at the same time. But to get all of them again, we have to wait about 4 centuries. So this is a very, very special occasion.
When will be the best time for people to see the lineup, and how do we do this? Do we need a telescope? How much can we actually see?
A great question. So for most of the planets, you will not need a telescope, although a small telescope or binoculars are going to be great because you can see a lot more detail. You want to catch this about a half hour after sunset. That way the sky is dark enough while some of the planets are still up in the sky. If you look to the west, right towards the setting sun, you will see Mercury and Venus standing out very, very brightly. You'll also see Saturn hugging the horizon. That will be the toughest one to spot during this parade. And then if you look straight up, you will see Mars and Jupiter. Mars will be very distinct. It will be very red, and Jupiter will be very, very bright. Uranus and Neptune are also up there near Mars and Jupiter, but you won't be able to see those with the naked eye. You will need binoculars or a small telescope for those.
And a reminder, your iPhone won't probably take the best picture of it.
Yeah.
So when you post those on social media.
Don't try to take a picture. Just
be in the
soak
moment.
this in.
Enjoy
just
it.
enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, space enthusiasts, I mean, they try to get a glimpse of this. Astronomers are on the lookout for an even bigger celestial phenomenon. It's called a nova explosion. What can you tell us about that?
What is that?
Oh, yes. So a nova is an explosion of an already dead star when it flares up. And most nova happen only once in a dead star's lifetime, which sounds kind of ironic. But some nova happen on a regular basis. And there's one in particular. It's a star in the constellation Corona Borealis. And this star's 3,000 light years away. It's normally totally invisible to the naked eye. But once every 80 years, it flares up and it will become visible. It will look like a new star, hence the word nova. And this was last caught in the 1940s. We think there are records of this flare going back all the way to the year 1217. And sometime this year or next year, it is due to flare up again. We've been noticing some dimming. Its activity has been getting a little strange, which suggests that a flare is coming. It's impossible to predict exactly when, but we're looking out for it because it would be awesome to catch this nova, this flare up as it's happening.
Sure would. Same with the planetary parade. We love it. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the show.
You
That
too.
is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Don't go anywhere, though. The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.